Welcome into the Daily Wager studios here on the Las Vegas Strip alongside Joe Fortenbaugh. I am Doug Kezirian. So the Super Bowl ink, if you will, is barely dry. We're already looking ahead to next year.
Not even 2 weeks away. It's a city that never sleeps, and these are betting markets that never sleep either.
Yeah, the odds are already out on terms of division odds. We're going to be talking about all 8 divisions, but today it's about the NFC East.
The Beast.
Cowboys are your favorites. Such a down year last year. Remember, Washington won this division with a losing record because injuries were such a main theme here. Dallas expected to get Dak Prescott back, Joe, and obviously I think the conversation always has to start with the Cowboys, given what happened last year. Such high expectations derailed with the Dak Prescott injury. He is technically a free agent. March 17th is when that could change, maybe even a franchise tag before that. They have all the pieces to win this division next year. The offensive line is breaking down. I get that. But if there's a healthy Prescott, I just think the offense is too potent. But I keep coming back to this. I don't trust McCarthy. Look what Green Bay has done since he left. Back-to-back 13-win seasons. I just don't think McCarthy's a good coach, and that concerns me to back the Cowboys at just even money.
It's the same conversation every single year when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. This is an extremely talented team. If only the coaching, fill in the blank here. Whether it's McCarthy, whether it's Garrett, it's the same story every single year. Is Zeke Elliott getting any better? Because you always have to worry about his conditioning. The health status of the quarterback. This is no longer that elite offensive line we've been talking about for a decade. Defensively, there are always issues. And Mike McCarthy is a big question mark. He came back with this, aura around him that he had changed. He hadn't. We saw it. So the Cowboys are, as Anita would say, no bueno for me.
Yeah, so he basically hung out with a few guys who know analytics, thinks he gleaned analytics just by hanging out with them. So if we don't like the Cowboys, who do you like?
Washington, believe it or not. I am shocked that this team, given what we're about to discuss, is tied for the worst odds to win the division along with the New York Giants. They've got the best head coach in the division. I don't even think that's debatable. They've got the best defense in the division. They've got the most salary cap space in the division, $38 million, 5th most in the entire NFL. Look at how last season went. They started the season 2-7. They closed 5-2. So they got better as the year went on. They finished the year 7-9. They were +6 in scoring differential, and they were 3-5 in one-score games. So when it comes to diving into the predictive analytics as to whether or not a regression's coming, no, a regression shouldn't be coming. And from what I understand, this team is very aggressive, working the phones, trying to solve and upgrade the quarterback position. I think if you jump on them now and you consider the Washington football team moving forward, you might be beating the market when it comes to the price.
That's the giant question, the quarterback. And that is for a lot of these teams, right? There's supposed to be a lot of turnover this offseason. We've already seen Matthew Stafford traded to the Rams. I think the Washington and Giants are the two teams that I think will duke it out. I believe in what the Giants. Now, turnarounds usually take 3 years, but they had Eli hang around too long. So it's almost like 2.5 years so far for the Giants. That's why they're a little behind things, but I kind of think they could put things together. Let's actually go out to the tri-state area and bring in our Anita Marks. Anita, you are plugged in to the Giants, but all things throughout the NFL. Shed some light here on the Giants situation entering next year.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, guys, let me just tell you, I totally agree with you. I think the wrong two teams are favored here to win the division. In regard to the Giants, they are expecting Barkley to come back. Saquon Barkley, healthy, ready to go. Daniel Jones, he gets Jason Garrett back as his offensive coordinator, and he was able to limit the turnovers towards the end of the season. In the draft, they're going to be able to go after maybe an offensive player. There's a lot of mock drafts anticipating them to get Pitt, the tight end from University of Florida, to complement Evan Ingram. Joe Judge and his staff coming back for a second year. And don't underestimate that Giants defense, Joe. I know you think that Washington has the best defense in this league, but the Giants, they could compete with them just as well.
Yeah, so that's the thing is that Sal Powell used to talk about on our show, the stats within the division for that Washington defense, impressive. But outside the division, not as amazing. Now, they could improve, too, obviously add some pieces. Now, you mentioned the Giants. Why do you think Washington in that conversation as well, Anita?
Yeah, listen, I like Washington a lot. They are in the market to bring in a veteran quarterback. And don't be surprised if it is Dak Prescott or maybe in the market for Deshaun Watson. On top of that, because of the pandemic, there's a lot of teams that are salary cap strapped. Washington is not one of them. They've got $39 million under the cap to make some moves. Maybe they go out, they bring in a free agent wide receiver to complement Terry McLaurin. Maybe it's Robinson. Maybe it's Galladay. Their defense, their front four, front seven, one of the best in the NFL. So don't underestimate this Washington team. Their defense, they go out and they get a free agent quarterback to solidify that offense. They are legit, and I love their odds at plus 425.
Yeah, and Ron Rivera commands such respect, and that's just a remarkable story to get them into the playoffs, given what he had gone through during the season, of course. But the Eagles are the team that lost to Washington in Week 17 on Sunday night. Some questionable decisions that ultimately may have cost Doug Peterson his job. But just moving forward, it looks like Carson Wentz is on the trade block. It looks like Jalen Hurts is the guy, or they even draft someone and he starts from day one. A lot of moving parts with this Philly team that really was plagued by injuries the last couple years.
It's an organization that presents a very big question mark when it comes to you investing your money. How much can you trust an organization that has been this, dare I say, dysfunctional over the last year plus? They strike me as a team that wasn't expecting to find itself in a coaching search and then found itself in a coaching search. That's never a good situation to be in. But you mentioned a key point, the injuries. If the offensive line comes back healthy, which it's expected to, and they upgrade the wide receiver position, the offense can take some steps, big steps forward almost immediately, no matter who's a quarterback.
That's what plagued them previest seasons, right? They get to the playoffs and had, their starting quarterback
injuries
so
galore.
Carson Wentz maybe get a fresh start somewhere else. Maybe, just maybe, this year's NFC East champ will have a winning record, perhaps.